Hey guys, my name is Ezra and today I'm going to be bringing you a review of the Manhattan Project's Volume 1. This is a comic book series that I've picked up really recently. The reason I picked this up wasn't something that was on my radar for a while. I've heard really good things about it. I think in 2012 it got some quite esteemed write-ups. So it seemed really good, and it seemed like something that I really could not avoid picking up. The impression I got before I actually picked this up was that it could be kind of akin to possibly something like Black Science, and it's really kind of like far-flung, futuristic sci-fi feel. Possibly something a bit maybe like God Hates Astronauts, with its really far-flung, far-fetched ideas. So that was what I had going into this, and I've been really pleasantly surprised by what I've experienced in this. So let's just quickly talk a bit about the story, and then I'll go into what I found really exciting and what I've really enjoyed about this comic. So the Manhattan Project in the 1940s was a army project which was basically used to develop the atomic bomb. Now in this fictional setting, the Manhattan Projects are essentially a front for more unusual projects that the army actually want to create. It's a really massive front so that they can cover up what they're actually working on in these really crazy project ideas. Now there are a lot of ideas that they do kind of touch on in this which are really interesting, and that's what I found really fun and enjoyable with this. That's why I've kind of related this to things like, for example, God Hates Astronauts. There are so many different weird and wacky ideas that do pop up. But the funny thing is, it doesn't really have that comical feel that God Hates Astronauts has. Whilst you do get a very slight touch of comedy or sarcasm in the way that characters speak, it doesn't really come across as really playful. So it doesn't really hinder too much on the story and make it too jovial. There are really dark, sinister sides to this which I really like things like God Hates Astronauts don't have. Now I'll let you in on, the very start of the story in this. So in 1942, Army Lieutenant Leslie Groves starts to pull together all these really amazing scientists to, start this project up. Now, the very first person that you start to delve into the character-wise is someone with the surname Oppenheimer. Now, I'm not going to ruin anything with the first name, because you'll start to pick up things very quickly with the kind of very strange character that he is. It's a really interesting idea to begin with, and that really plays out down the whole volume of this comic into quite a kind of oddball character, which I think you'll really grow to like, but that's where the kind of really dark, sinister side really starts to grow with this. So that's probably been my most favourite character so far. So we might as well then lead into the positives for this comic. Now, as I said, it's a crazy world. There's so many things that they can do with this. They've got so many crazy alien characters that pop up, really crazy things that happen to the characters, some left field situation that will come from nowhere that you're just like, where the hell did the writers get these ideas? They pop up all over the place, and that's something that really keeps this comic book fresh. It never really feels like it's resting on its laurels at all. There's always something kind of popping up in your face from lots of different directions. So story-wise, that's what's kept it really exciting, and that's something that I found really enjoyable so far. Now, one of the characters that do actually pop up on this is Einstein. He doesn't really play much of he doesn't really play a large role until slightly later on into the comic, but he seems to be a really, again, deep and complex character. He generally tends to be quite moody and matter-of-fact, which I quite like. You do have to have that person that just cuts through all the bullshit and just kind of says it how it is. Einstein really is that character in this book, and again, he's another character which I really do enjoy. There is a really good twist in this with Einstein, which I really hope they do come back to later on in the comics, because it would be a real shame not to have him back in it a bit later. You'll see what I mean. Again, I will try not to go into the story too much so that I don't ruin it for you guys. You will see what I mean, but yeah, really enjoyed that part of the comic as well. So the most fun and interesting character in this is a scientist called Dr. Daglian. Now he has, let's say, a plutonium complexion. You'll totally understand what you see when I mean it, but he basically has come into contact with some kind of plutonium core and has totally changed everything about him. And he's someone who is actually majorly toxic to any other human being that comes into contact with him. So he kind of has to wear this really interesting suit all the time. It's kind of like a radioactive suit. So he's basically wearing one of these the whole time. So you can imagine that if he takes this off, there could be mayhem that ensues in terms of lots of people dying, and that's something to keep out for an eye in this as well. The character that I feel has the most opportunity to become the main focus of is still Oppenheimer. He's so multifaceted. As I was saying earlier, he is a real oddball who can really just do anything anything so unexpected. I can really see Hickman focusing his attention on him in terms of where the storyline really tends to progress. I really think he's going to be the focus of that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes. That's going to be my most interesting point. So the colours do really, really work well with this, and it really adds that extra layer of depth. So kudos to the colourist, Jordi Belair. You've done an absolutely fantastic job with this. Yeah, you really do bring something extra to the comic. What are my thoughts in terms of the negatives? Well, I haven't really found many negatives, to be honest. The story is really in depth. They've got lots of options now that they've given quite a bit of backstory to each of the characters, so there's multiple lines that they could go to further on down the line in terms of story arcs. That's kind of why I really like this. So this has been a review of the Manhattan Project's Volume 1. If you like what you see, guys, please make sure to subscribe and hit that subscribe button down below. Please make sure you comment. I'm more than happy to get into a good discussion with you guys in the comments below. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.